just stopped by because I wanted to share my top 3 tips for mastering your mind. The first tip is gratitude, the second tip is mindfulness, and the third tip is the reframe. So I'll tell you a little bit more about how I use these to master my mind. In my last video, I was talking a lot about toxic thoughts and how to get rid of toxic thoughts, and the fact that we have over 6,000 thoughts a day, and invariably some of those thoughts are toxic. And one of the ways that we can tell when we need to master our minds is by tapping into our emotions. How are we feeling? If we're feeling sad or defeated or depressed or disappointed or overwhelmed, more than likely there are some toxic thoughts. And that's what we want to master. We want to master our minds, because whatever it is that we want to achieve, our mindset is crucial. And having an optimistic mindset, a growth-oriented mindset, is like gold in the bank. It's better than gold in the bank. That is the key to unlocking all of your potential. I totally believe this and have experienced it. So let's start with gratitude. Whenever I feel myself slipping into a place where I need to master my mind, I may be having some toxic thoughts, or I'm not getting the results that I want from myself, I start with gratitude. Gratitude has a way of shifting you. It shifts your energy. It shifts your mind from all of those things that you might be worrying about, or all of those things that you think are not going your way, to all of the things that are going your way. How blessed you are, what you have to work with, what your potential is, what you have to celebrate. And it just kind of almost immediately for me shifts me into a space where I can start to see things a little bit more clearer. You know, when you're focused on the problem, that's what's going to magnify. When you focus on the solution, more solutions start to become available. The second tip that I have is mindfulness. Mindfulness is so important because remember I talked about all of those 6,000 thoughts. There's so much going on in our minds. None of us even understands fully how the brain works. But we have to clear out some of that stuff, or it just builds up and it kind of starts to clog the systems. You won't even be able to be as sharp as you want to be, and you won't be able to access the parts of your mind that you really want to access. So clearing out your mind is really important, and mindfulness is a way to do that. Meditation is my favorite form of mindfulness because it just quiets my brain and allows it to just kind of take a pause, take a breath, and allows me to be able to take out the trash, any thoughts that don't need to be there, just let them kind of float away and be cleared out. But there are other forms of mindfulness. Not everyone likes to meditate. Prayer is another form of mindfulness. Just sitting quietly, taking deep breaths is a form of mindfulness. And I think that when you're reading positive content, that can be a form of mindfulness too. So whatever form of mindfulness you like, or that works for you, mindfulness is the second tip. And then the third tip is the reframe. And I think this is my favorite one, because in order to master our mind, we need to tell our mind what thoughts are good for us. Our mind goes in so many different directions. And the thing is, we've had so much poured into us that we didn't have control over as we were growing up, as we were being taught in school, as we heard things from other people, that there are grooves in our neural pathways that are well worn, because those thoughts and those opinions have been said and done and played over and over again in our minds. So they are well grooved. We have to create new grooves. And actually science shows that we do create new neural pathways. So when we start to reframe our thoughts and reframe the story that we've been telling ourselves forever and ever, whether consciously or unconsciously, we're able to create a new groove and a new pathway. And over time, our mind gets used to the new groove and will go to the new one instead of the old one. So it takes a lot of consistent work and it takes a lot of consistent practice. But if my mind is telling me that I am not able to do something, that I am less than I need to be, I just reframe that narrative right quick. I don't let it take hold, I reframe it. Whatever it is that the thoughts that need to be mastered, I reframe it to a thought and a mindset that is going to work for me, a mindset of abundance. If I start to feel like I don't have enough, I immediately shift to saying that I am attracting abundance into my life. I am someone who attracts $1 million clients. I am someone who is destined for greatness. Whatever it is, I reframe that narrative, and I do use affirmations as well. So that's a bonus tip. Bonus tip would be affirmations. So I hope that these 3 tips help you. Remember, the first tip is gratitude, the second tip is mindfulness, and the third tip is the reframe. All right, see you next time. Have a great day.